Hey everyone, just an update on my nursing degree. Um, so I start next Monday. So for the first 2 weeks, from what I gather, um, my introduction week is going to be all online, um, which makes it a bit more comforting for me right now. Um, as far as I know, it's going to be some online, some offline. So it's going to be mixed learning, on and offline. Um, Obviously, I'm going to prefer the majority of it being online for obvious reasons, but can't be avoided, I suppose, especially considering the type of job that it's going to be. Um, but anyway, I'm pretty sure I'll manage. So, so far they've only added 3 of our courses up. Um, for autumn, I'm going to have my integrated anatomy and physiology, self relationships and healthcare, and developing fundamental clinical skills. So obviously, most of the clinical skills, as far as I'm aware, we're going to be in 1 day a week for clinical skills. Um, but that's only when we need to do the practical stuff. From what I make from the video she posted, the rest is going to be online. Um, so obviously you can't do the practical stuff online, so we need to go in for that. Which really isn't too much different from what I've done previously in my jobs, like moving and handling and things like that. The only difference is obviously going to be learning a bit more about how to check vital signs and things like that. Um, so that should be quite interesting. Despite my anxiety, that's the part I'm actually looking forward to the most. Is the hands-on. Um, going to be as nervous as hell, right enough, but I think I'll find that more enjoyable. I seem to learn better being a little bit more hands-on. Um, but yeah, as far as I can make out of what it's going to be, guided study, um, and it's going to be online and offline, as I say. I'm going to go down to the uni on Friday to get my student nurse zipper to go with my uniform. So as far as I'm aware, once my uniform is in, for all our clinical skills classes, we need to wear our uniform. But until then, just comfortable clothes, joggers, t-shirt, um, the usual. So, closer it's getting, more anxious I'm getting. I think I am thinking too much on it. There's a couple of buildings that's been mentioned for seminar rooms and things like that, so I'm going to go on Friday and have a look at where these buildings are and the classes are, just so I know I've got a rough idea before going where I'm actually going, so on the day I'm not having a full blown anxiety attack because I don't know where I'm going. Very near a meltdown looking at my timetable because I do not understand it. It is so complicated. I'm going to speak to the support and inclusion services and see if they can simplify it for me. I need a timetable that states this is the date you're in, this is the time, this is a class. None of this having to apply for groups and seminars, and because I don't know what I'm doing. It's too confusing for me. Because I'm more paranoid now about whether or not I'm going to double book classes. Because I can't meet my current timetable, so I'll need to see if inclusion services can help me simplify my timetable. We're in the student nurse group chat for Stirling Uni. The other girls there are kind of having the same problem trying to understand it, so it's not just me. But if they're struggling to understand it, then think of someone that does have one, learning problems, and two, anxiety. It's just no use. So I'll see if there's anything student services can do to help me simplify that. So I'm not fretting over it. So far, the timetable's really the only thing that's got me worked up right now. Because having anxiety, I like to know where I am, what I'm doing, just so I know. If you've got anxiety, you'll maybe understand that a bit better. You know, you don't adapt well to changes, which is quite, how do you put it? Considering the type of job that I've been in for 14 years and the type of course I'm on, you know, it's very unpredictable how your day's going to go. And with my anxiety, I don't like changes, and I need to have set days and set routines. But my career path is just totally different from that. But it's strange because for 14 years I've been able to manage that. Well, yeah, 14 years. It'll be 15 years this year, but I've kind of not been able to go into work this year. I've struggled, but for the 14 years out of the 15 that I've been in the care sector, you know, I've been able to deal with these routine changes. Like if an emergency happens, I can deal with it. It's quite strange. There's certain things that I can do in work that I can't actually do out with. You know, make phone calls, chat to the patients, you know, speak to families. But I can't do anything. I can't do any of this for myself out with. Which is kind of frustrating. Because you'd imagine if I'd be able to do it in work, I would be able to do it outside. But it doesn't necessarily work like that. A counsellor from the college that I was in once told me that that is because you're more focused on someone else and not yourself. You're more focused on the job at hand, caring for someone else rather than yourself. And it's funny because the CBT support worker that I had said the exact same thing. So yeah, but it doesn't stop it being frustrating. So yeah, the timetable's really the only thing right now that's kind of melting my brain. I did try and get it up here on the laptop, but for some reason my laptop isn't connecting to the internet. But hopefully they'll be able to sort something out for me. The inclusion services did get back to me, so they are going to. They wanted me to resend the letter signed because my link worker never signed the letter that she gave me to send to them, so they needed it hand signed. So she posted that through my door this morning, so I've uploaded that to them. So hopefully I'll get my assessment soon, so I can apply for the DSA, Disabled Students Allowance. You apply for that via SAS, but you need the university support assessment beforehand. So your basic yearly qualification package is like £1,500 for the whole year for stuff that you might need. They say the 5,000 one, which is your medium package, is like for laptops and things like that, but you could get a laptop, a pretty decent laptop off the basic one. So I will look into I'm going to need to get a new laptop because I was looking at the Echo Smartpen. So what that does is, I find when I was in college in my classes, I was struggling to take in what the lecturer was saying, because when my anxiety was playing up, I was too busy, looking around me. My brain was in overdrive. I need to get out of here, so I wasn't really paying attention to what was being said. So this Echo Smartpen actually works like a dictaphone, so it records the whole lecture. But the good thing about it as well is I'm very slow, so when the lecturer's talking, I'm having to rush to write, but then it makes my writing messy and I can't read what I've written in my notes. So what the pen does as well is, as I'm writing my notes, it's obviously picking up the lecture, but with my notes I can highlight my notes with the pen and it puts it all into a Word document in that for me, and basically I can fill in what I've missed out. For the pen to work, you need the Echo Smartpen notepads as well. So like you've got four Echo notepads for like £35 or something. The pen itself is actually about £95. So for the whole package, the pen, 4 of the books and the refill ink cartridges, on Amazon you're talking about £130. So my DSA should cover that. But my lovely daddy, being the nice guy that he is, as soon as I mentioned about getting this pen, he went on there and then and ordered it for me on the Sunday, and he sent me a photo of it delivered on the Monday. So I'm actually going to pick this pen up on Friday from my dad's, because he's went ahead and ordered it for me. I think that's because I start on Monday, and by the time they do my assessment and all that, I'm probably already going to be in there. So I think he's went and ordered it, so I've got it for starting. Then he's obviously wanting me to succeed, so he's doing what he can to make it a bit easier for me. Bless him. He didn't necessarily need to go do that, but I will see if I can get, when I get awarded the DSA, I'll see about getting a receipt from him and getting that money back, because that's what the DSA is for. It's to pay for these kind of things. I mean, my dad shouldn't be out, although he doesn't mind, he shouldn't be out of pocket buying these things for me, but bless him. So that's going to make things a lot easier for me, having this pen. I'll do a wee video on it when I pick it up, but it's really going to be a big help for me, especially if you know what it's like when you're trying to concentrate on something and your brain's just going into overdrive and you can't think of anything else apart from, I need to get out of here. So it's going to be a massive help for me, and it means I don't need to rush what I'm writing, because the pen will pick up what I've not written my notes as well, so I can take my time in writing, and you can actually highlight what you've written on your notebook and the pen will copy it into a Word document for you, so you're not having to retype it up or anything as well. Put it into a Word document for you. It stores it all in the pen, and then you just obviously hook the pen up to your laptop and transfer the files, so it's really good that way. And I'll be able to read my writing because I'm not rushing. So it's going to be a massive help in my learning. I actually wish I had it for college. I maybe wouldn't have struggled as much. But it's funny because it was actually the college support services that mentioned this pen to me, but they don't give funding for things like that, which is pretty stupid because, these things come in handy. So I will update a bit more when I hear back from the support and inclusion services of the uni, and find out about my assessment and things like that. And I'll do an update on that as well. But I'm now under a week before I start. It was a week yesterday. I am looking forward to it, but at the same time, it's the scary unknown, isn't it, that makes you anxious about it. So yeah, I've covered the Echo Pen, covered the update on my uni status. I'm fully enrolled now. I'm sure I said that in the last video as well. So as I say, all my classes are starting to pop up in my canvas now. So yeah, I think we're set to go. So from what I can make out, I've actually applied for 5th of September at 1:40. No, I didn't apply for that one. So right, okay, so they've added seminars already. My to-do list, the welcome for developing fundamental clinical skills. I'll need to go and see what that is. The welcome to the module, self-relationships and healthcare, and Unit 2 quiz, self-relationships and healthcare. So I think we have to do them the now. I'll just quickly go into welcome and see what that's all about. Welcome to your fundamental clinical skills module space. We're looking forward to meeting with you, blah blah blah. Take time to look through the module. Right, so there's not really very much in that. So we'll go back. So I looked at the welcome. So welcome to the module, what's that? Right, so that's just a different module, which is just saying the same thing. Welcome, enrolment is happening over the coming week. Once complete, you'll be allocated your group for the on-campus teaching on a Thursdays. Okay, so it tells you not to allocate yourself to a group, but we've all went ahead and allocated ourselves to a group. So again, they haven't been very clear on that, so we're having to suss it out for ourselves, and we went and allocated ourselves groups that we're not supposed to, because they're now saying here not to. So we'll be allocated a morning group, either a morning lecture starting 9 to 10, followed by a tutorial from 10 to 12, or a lecture starting from 1 to 2, followed by a tutorial from 2 to 4. Now, personally, for me, from anxiety, it would be great if they could keep mine's as much morning classes as possible for me, because I'm going to get up that morning and I'm going to be pacing the whole morning until it's time for me to go. I'll probably find myself there an hour or two early, just because my anxiety will be through the roof. Morning classes and appointments like that are better for me, because it means I can get up, get my coffee or tea, get washed, dressed and go. I don't need to hang about the house worrying until the time I'm due to leave, because then I just start pacing. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll maybe put me in the morning most of the time, because you'll remain in that group in your allocated time throughout the module. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they put me in the morning group. So the Unit 2 quiz, the quiz is locked till the 18th of September, so I can't even do the quiz now. So why it's on a to-do list, I don't know. 3 things on a to-do list that you can't actually do anything on. Doesn't make sense. So I'll close them, because we can't actually do the quiz right now, so I don't know why they've got it up there. So fingers crossed for me, they managed to put me in a group where it's morning. I'd rather do the early mornings than be pacing about and worrying my day away, basically. So yeah, I'll hopefully able to give another update at the end of the week at some point. Friday night probably, once my busy day is away. Okay, so we'll speak soon.